What's up, everybody? So as you can see, we're back in town. We're in my shop now. I forgot to do a intro to today's video, the Blade Show Atlanta 2023 Day 3. So I'm doing that now. The focus for this particular video was on some of the tools that vendors were making for knife makers and going around and showing off some of those things. And I got some cool little demonstrations and stuff like that. So y'all are gonna see that in this video. And then we'll talk about some more stuff in the outro. I'm pretty sure the outro is gonna be at like a rest stop in Alabama or something like that. So let's go ahead, let's jump into it. Let's get this thing going.
First thing I always do is look at where that warp is, try to get an idea. So this blade, it's warped about here, and most of it looks to be about in this section of the handle in there. So that's where I'll end up starting. And you can always use a flat surface to kind of feel, like if I press down on the tip, it really doesn't feel like it's moving a whole lot, but on the handle it is. So you don't want to swing hard with these, so I'm not gonna, I'm not forging with it. So you just want to use your wrist and real light hits. Usually I'll tell people when you're starting off, do 4 to 6 hits, check it, see how it's moved. So it's still rocking a little bit. And that's already pretty much almost there. Now I always flip to make sure that I didn't over bend, and if you did, you can just hit the other side to pull it back a little bit. And that's pretty much there on that. You can have a surface plate nearby that you can actually set even a larger blade on and really check and get a good idea. But if you've got a fairly flat anvil, that usually is a good enough reference surface. So typically, I'll harden blades full thickness, straighten them, then do all of my grinding post-heat treat. That helps keep things a little bit straighter. If you take things really thin, then you heat treat it, you're more likely to get distortion. But at this point, I would rough grind this. Usually I'll check it again after the rough grind, because if my grind is off, say I ground one side a little more than the other, you can cause the blade to warp just by how you've removed material and relieved stress in the blade. And you can come back with this and readjust. So if I make a lot of knives where they're chisel ground or only ground on one side. And if I grind on this side of the knife, it's gonna pull really hard to the opposite side. So I can often pre-warp the material so that it's already pulled in the opposite direction. And then as I grind, it'll pull itself back to center. And if I'm a little off or a little under, you can go back and you can adjust and straighten it, just working down the spine. I usually tell people try to stay about 1/4 inch in from the edge and spine. You just don't want to hit right on those sharp edges or corners. But it's a super simple way of straightening. I can usually go through a batch of 50 knives in less than an hour. And I've straightened a couple thousand knives this way and not had any that have cracked or had issues after the fact. So, but the biggest things are just don't hit super hard, and it's kind of counterintuitive that if the blade is warped this way, you're hitting on the inside of that curve to cause it to stretch back down.
I'm banana, you're banana.
Yep. I don't need a collector on mine.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up day 3 of the Blade Show Atlanta 2023 vlog series. Now, today was focused on some of the machinery, some of the tools that people make for knife making, things like the 2x72s and stuff like that. And I was really surprised at how many 2x72s they have out there. And there's a lot of different styles. The cool thing was, whenever I was going through and filming some of it, we got some cool demonstrations. We got to see Josh talk about the actual using the little carbide peen hammer to straighten blades, to unbanana your banana, things like that. Plus we were able to, see the big old huge surface attachment that was letting that guy do a sword, and you can actually angle it to where you could do bevels, all 4 bevels on the sword, which was really cool. And then of course, seeing Ben Abbott use that power hammer, that was an awesome little thing too. So it was a cool day. I'm really happy I was able to go around and just talk to them and pick their brains on a few different things that I might do moving forward. So that was awesome. Plus we were able to scoop some stuff up. Now of course it's the last day, so typically you get some good deals on belts and stuff like that. I did. So I was able to scoop up 8 36 grit belts from Phoenix Abrasives for a really good price, plus 3 Norton Blaze 36 grit belts that I really like. So I got all of those, and then I was able to get 10 120 grit belts. So we kind of have a little bit of everything. I typically use a lot of the 36 grit, 60 grit, and 120 grit, and I have a whole bunch of 60 grit, so all I really needed was the 120 grit. So we were able to get that, and then on top of that I was able to get some pin material. So this is white and kind of like a mint color pin material right here. Now the cool thing is, the mint color pin material is going to get paired up with this rich light chocolate material here. I think this is like a paper micarta, and from what it was looking like, it finishes really well, and I think that these colors are going to match up real well. So that's going to be cool. Plus the actual steel that I got for it is some raindrop pattern Damascus from Alabama Damascus. So of course, can I make Damascus? Yes, I can. But for some of the builds that I'm going to be doing and the way that I have them priced, it actually was more beneficial for me to buy these 2 pieces of Damascus and make it make sense time-wise, because hand forging Damascus takes a long time, and it really doesn't make much sense for what I'm going to be selling the knives for. So I went that route. It just happened to work out. It happened to be the size that I needed and the thickness that I needed. So I mean, that just worked out perfectly. Now, other things that I got this cool file work book right here from Kyle Daly. Mr. Kyle Daly right there, one of my friends. And this is a cool book. It literally breaks down the whole entire process of doing file work on your knives. We're going to be doing some of that. I'm going to be kind of breaking this book down for y'all in a video and showing you the cool things about it and what my takeaways are from it. Plus I got this cool little template guide right here that actually lets you see the steps that you do to get to the end result. You start here, go to there, go to there, go to there, and that's how you finish out. And the cool thing is, a lot of this stuff is inside this book, and it kind of walks you through what you start with and the next step, the next step, and the next step to get that final result. So I got that from him. That's really cool. And then I went ahead and got a tomahawk drift and a tomahawk handle. Now you might be thinking, you could easily have just made your own handle. These are simple, and they are. It's got a cool little profile to it, but the thing is, this is a curly maple. So it is, you can see all that banding, all the awesome lines that go through there. Whenever I get this stained, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So that is going to be awesome, and this drift actually fits this. Now I will be using this as a template to make a few more, but for the first one I wanted it to look really epic, so that's what we're doing. Now we got those. We're going to be doing a tomahawk, and I'll get more into that when we actually start that particular video, because we're going to be most likely, I think what I'm going to do on the first one is forge a ball peen hammer into a tomahawk. But I don't know just yet. We're going to see how that goes. I think that's what we're going to do. But we'll figure it out whenever we actually get to that point. But this was everything that I scooped up today. A bunch of belts that I needed, some pin materials, some handle materials, some knife material, plus a cool file book, things like that. It was a good day. We got to see some good demonstrations. Hopefully y'all like that. Guys, if y'all liked this series, let me know. Comment section down below. Plus, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. And understand that on Tuesday, we're going to do a full recap of the whole entire trip. I'm going to do all my takeaways, all the things that I thought were cool and important from this show, and things that I suggest that you do whenever you go to a show like this. So it's going to be a good video. Hopefully y'all are excited about it. Guys, that's it. That's a wrap for the actual, traveling days and things like that. But, hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Guys, that's it. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.